Hello, it's me, Courtney. I have decided not to just do a normal makeup tutorial that's all like cute and nice. I also just wanted to see you guys to see what I actually do, specifically to go perform on stage. One of the reasons I'm doing this is because I really wish I was on stage and I miss it. And so this is kind of like making me feel like I'm on stage. And don't mind that giant loud noise. That was just me kicking my ring light away. Hold on. This is not a true YouTuber setup. So when I go on stage, I usually have like one or two looks that I do the whole time because I'm doing my own makeup and generally I don't have a lot of time and I'm really stressed out. So I just want something with some consistency. I completely shave my whole face other than my eyebrows or like anywhere I can. Now there's all these like cute little like girl single blade straight razors and all this other shit that you can get. I don't like it and I don't want it because it's like, this is better. It's a men's razor. This is what I've been using for like 10 years. And I also find it really weird that like as girls, we're supposed to have no hair from here down. And most women shave their bodies from here down. But like it's weird and gross for me to be shaving my mustache and my face. Why? Why is this weird? But this isn't weird. Huh? I don't know. I have so much peach fuzz on my face. It's white. And so in lights on stage, first of all, it just like, I feel like it makes my makeup not look very nice. And then secondly, just like in the light on stage, I have like a freaking foot of hair off my face on either side. The other thing that I do, and I have been growing them back in because I haven't left my house in like a month. I also really like to shave off my eyebrow tips, which I will demonstrate for you as much as I can right now. This one looks really good. It's kind of sad to get rid of it, but I basically do it, and I also try not to cut off my eyelashes. But I like to start conservative, just in case I regret my decision. I like doing this better than waxing because the hairs grow back faster, just in case I don't like it. And then also, I am on like retinol stuff for my acne. And my skin's very sensitive, so I can't wax my upper lip anymore, and I can't wax my eyebrows anymore. No matter how gentle I go, it still gives me big giant scabs, and I've learned that the hard way. This is gonna be kind of like a get ready with me chit chat. And while we do that, I will answer some questions. I'm also ordering Thai food right now, which is so exciting. Let's see what the kids have to say. I am psyched asked if I meditate, and I guess the answer, I don't know. It's one of those things. I feel like the answer is no. But as I am getting older and continuing, being really into doing yoga, I realize that, just like everything else in life, meditation can mean different things to different people, and there's no, perfect way to do it. Not everyone is a perfect meditator who can like clear their minds and their thoughts on command. It's okay to have your mind run. It's just normal. Your monkey mind, as they say. Danielle Bianchi asked, any upcoming interviews with other female vocalists, much like your Lauren Babick interview? That's my podcast series, Good for a Girl. And the answer is yes and no. No on just like a fun Patreon bonus, and yes in general, because a couple months ago, or gosh, after I did like 2 episodes for you guys, a really awesome, like super legit professional podcast company called podcast.co in the UK picked up my series Good for a Girl as like a legit podcast. So I've shot 5 episodes, and I'm gonna be premiering that in January. So that's really exciting. I'm very scared. Most important for me, I have like the world's cheapest mirror in the whole world. Like, it's literally the cheapest mirror that I could find at Costco. It was like an impulse buy because I was desperate for a mirror, and I haven't really been putting a lot of makeup on lately because I've been trapped in my house. But now that I'm doing it more, I realize that I hate this mirror, and it falls over if you breathe near it. So I feel like the most important thing to keep all my makeup on is skincare. So I've been using the same types of products really for like the last year. And I have my nighttime routine, but I also have my daytime routine. And so I've recently, in the last about 6 weeks, I've been using this Eminence skincare, this one, Rosehip Triple C and E Firming Oil, because Ashley now works with Eminence, and so I've been learning a lot about their products, and so she got me these. And I really like how it feels on me, and I just put it on during the day. So I think I'm definitely going to repurchase that. When I'm on stage, I also like to really prep my under eyes, so I use eye cream. Otherwise, I just use normal lotion. Right now, I'm using this one. It's the First Aid Beauty Retinol Eye Cream. It is very good. I really like it. I've just ordered the Glossier Bubble Wrap. It's like eye cream, and I need to put a little on my lips because I don't have Vaseline in here, and they're so dry. But anyway, I'm gonna try that out because this is good and all. I don't really think I need to keep adding, even though this isn't as strong as my prescription retinol. I don't think I need to keep adding this into my routine. Too much retinol, too much exfoliation. Eric Larkin says, speaking of makeup, how long did it take to do that Holy Roller demon look? I'm assuming you did it yourself. Well, Eric, I didn't do it myself. Anytime Ashley can be around to be a part of our music videos, you know, we love to collab together. So she was able to come here for that, and she did my makeup for the Holy Roller video. It took a really long time because my skin, probably because of the tretinoin that I use, I use Retin-A Micro, my skin just like was not taking to the the white face makeup, and it was just like sliding off my face. We actually like had a whole different look in mine, and we had to pivot right then and there to have it be more like caked on looking and more like clay or like crackled paint looking, because it looked crazy and we were freaking out. I've also been using this Eminence Skincare Arctic Berry Peptide Radiance Cream. I really like it. Probably more of like a summer lotion for me. It's personally like, I don't think it's thick enough for nighttime, but I also like to be like completely slathered. And I'm not gonna put this on because it's nighttime now, but this is the sunscreen that I use, the IS Clinical Eclipse SPF 50. It doesn't break out my skin, and it somehow feels great. It almost feels like a makeup primer on my skin. Fantastic. For skin, it really, really depends on where I am. Am I performing outdoors? Am I performing indoors? How hot are the lights? How hot is it? What's the temperature like? Is it a little sweaty place? Are there lots of fans? All those things kind of change up how I do it, and kind of make me choose between like a more moisturizing thing, just so that like I have a nice canvas, or something that is like this is the coconut one. It's the First Aid Beauty Coconut Smoothie Primer, I think. Yeah, very nice. You could use this as a moisturizer anyway. And then also this Dermablend Professional Instagrip Jelly Primer. If I'm gonna like have a long day of makeup and I'm kind of caking it on, I use this shit. It's very good. Usually I'd probably put it on with a sponge. I just put my moisturizer on, so I feel like I can really get it pressed into my skin right now with my fingers. Also, you know, forgive me, everyone. I don't do this very often. So I really admire like all the makeup people on YouTube that are able to like talk and answer questions and do their makeup at the same time. But I'll try to go as fast as I can. Oh my god, I've already been doing this for 13 minutes and I don't have my makeup on yet. Holy shit. Drew Leggett asked, what are you most excited about after having a couple songs make it big, especially on XM and signing with Rise? I'm just excited to take this show on the road. All I want is to be able to go on tour again. I miss it so much, and I feel like we have a lot to prove, and we need to get out there. That's where we're gonna have our star rise. That's where we're gonna make money. Like, that's where we're gonna prove ourselves that we're not just a studio band. And that's like the biggest piece missing from our lives right now is like just the connection with fans and the reaction of you guys in real life, not just like on the internet. So I'm so desperate to go on tours, and it's just really cool and flattering to have awesome tour offers with bands that I really like. So I'm so excited to do all those big festivals next year. And I'm so excited to hopefully get on some cool tours, but you know, you never know how that's gonna go. There's lots of competition. Shane asked, have I used tire money for gas yet? The Canadian Tire Money. I feel like that's like a thing from like 10 years ago, and I think I don't know anyone that like keeps them. I feel like everyone my age admitted defeat that we never actually used the Canadian Tire Money. And I've never really shopped there. I don't even know what you do with it. Do you use it like to get gift cards in the store? I have no clue. I really wish that Fenty Beauty just made a perfect shade that was the combo of both of these. But this is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation, and these two colors together are my perfect color. I'd rather not have two foundations, but these were sent to me, and the formula is so good that I will definitely be repurchasing this and repurchasing both colors. One's too pink, one's too beige. Together, they're perfect. On stage, like in real life, I like to be a lot more glowy and dewy. But on stage, it doesn't really sometimes translate. It ends up just kind of sort of bypassing dewy and going straight on to sweaty. So today I'm just going to show you what I pretty much did every night when I was briefly on tour in Europe in the winter. What I would do. Down to spend a half hour to 40 minutes on my makeup, but I just don't have time to spend an hour. You also have to be practical, because when you're a new band, like when we were on that tour, we were the opening band. We had like the least amount of room and space and privacy, right? We're like at the bottom of the barrel, so I was pretty much always having to get ready around a bunch of other people who were also trying to get ready. You know, you don't have time to have like all your makeup brushes out and do all these very elaborate eye looks. I like to have a lot of like more coverage into more towards the middle of my face, and then kind of leave it alone on the outside. Not that I care if my nice, you know, natural skin shines through on stage. It's just more layers of stuff to start like picking up and pilling together. So I like, especially for a foundation like this one that's more of like a matte finish. It doesn't look matte because I have so much moisture under my skin right now. But for these ones, I just feel like a thinner layer generally works a lot better for me, and it stays down better. Michael Austin asked, I asked on Twitter before, you talked about the collages you make for the merch collections. I'd love to hear more about the different ones that you've made. I'll say what I can while doing makeup, because I find that hard. So now I'm doing, this is my favorite discontinued Prep and Prime highlighter pen from MAC in medium. For special occasions, I'll still put a small amount of it under my eyes just to keep things nice and dewy and not dusty, crusty. I really like using this eyeshadow brush as my concealer brush. The collages. I just find it a lot easier because I don't speak graphic designer language. I feel like it's a lot easier to just show them kind of what I'm thinking rather than tell them what I'm thinking and then, you know, just have it not be what I want, which is so frustrating to the graphic designer, but I just don't really speak in those art terms. So I do all these little collages for our graphic designer. So of just anything from like art or a photo or like merch that like a different brand, like a fashion line, their summer spring runway, or just like cool like streetwear stuff. I just send them, you know, anything that I just screenshot on my phone when I'm surfing Instagram or just going on like Hypebeast or something like that. And I just find that so much easier if you're someone like me who doesn't speak graphic design language. So right now I just went in and did a very small conservative amount of Tarte Shape Tape. I use the color Light. I don't like that it has a scent to it. I think the scent's gross, but I bought this like a year ago and I still have some left. You also remember while I'm doing this, you're seeing a different thing than what I'm seeing. You're seeing my face directly with like a little light halo coming at me, and then there's like a smoothing, kind of like a blurring filter that's built into this camera. So just remember, whenever you see anyone on stage under those lights, or you see anyone just doing like a casual vlog thing in natural sunlight, and you're like, oh, they look so perfect. How do they get their skin perfect? You know, if I look in the mirror right now, I can see all of my pores and I can see all of the scars on my chin from acne, and all that, and all my, you know, dry patches and little wrinkly bits. Like, it's there. What I'm seeing in camera right now is so much more like blown out and pretty looking than what I'm seeing in real life. So I just like people to know that, because that's something that used to make me feel like shit. Oh, Mohammed's on his way to pick up my food at Little Thai Place. Woo! Bring it home, baby. Bring it home, Mohammed. Let's see. Loaf of Hearsay says, what kind of makeup and skincare do you use? That you'll keep watching, but I really, really love makeup and skincare. One of the things that's really helped me is to finally just stop trying new stuff now that I've found something that works for me, like skincare wise. Introducing all these new things in is just not good. So I'm trying to like pare down my skincare routine, and for makeup, I don't care as much because I have so many layers on before I put the makeup on. Who do I sometimes compare myself to? Aaron Woodall asked. I try not to compare myself to anybody in my music industry, but it's hard, you know, because there's a lot of really talented people. I think I'm getting better at like admiring them versus comparing myself to them and feeling shitty about it. Oh, I'm so hungry. So yeah, I mean, I compare myself to everybody, but it's more of like a admiration thing now versus, you know, anything else. I feel like pretty confident in myself, and it doesn't make me sad that I can't hit this note or hit that note or whatever like somebody else can. I would normally not put, like, I would never use concealer as an eye primer, but I just don't want to use the eye primer that I have because I don't have a lot left, and I'm not going on stage right now, so it's okay if the concealer kind of breaks down a little bit in the next couple hours and doesn't keep my eye makeup on very well, because this is fake and I'm not actually going anywhere. I like to use my fingers a little bit now. I'm just really not into the Instagram triangle. I like to just kind of more so focus on like lifting my eyes up. This isn't for normal life, this is for the stage. I use a lot more powder for stage than I do for real life, because I am okay with it being a little bit matte. I'm okay with it being a little bit cakey because I am always going to be a couple feet away from people. But I still am nowhere near like the amount of powder I used to put on for my daily makeup. It was crazy. I like to do a very first stage, a very thin layer of powder over my whole T-zone and under my eyes. This powder is the MAC Prep and Prime HD, I think, powder. Transparent finishing powder. And it always makes it look like I did a rail of Coke everywhere I go because it's very messy. I wish that the thing that it came in wasn't so messy. But since I am going to be using cream products, I do not put the powder on my cheeks just yet, because I just want the cream products to be able to have a fighting chance. I will keep putting powder on as things go, but you can already kind of see that it's like just a little bit more flawless looking, and I'm starting to look a little bit less. I know, yes, I have lots of lights on me, so it's bouncing off, so I look bright, but I'm not so like shiny looking. Steven asked, any idea when the Holy Roller vinyls are going to ship? I haven't heard anything other than a tentative shipping time of the beginning of December, and that was November. I mean, I guess that's a question you can ask in this video, but unfortunately you're gonna have to watch it for like 30 minutes to find this answer. But yeah, you know, vinyls are shipping late. They're just shipping late. It's like everything's late. They were supposed to ship around December 4th. They're ending up shipping this week now instead. So they're like, you know, a week and a half late. It's just how it is. Okay, bronzer. Depending on my, you know, tan levels, right now they're non-existent. I like to go in with the same brush that I use for foundation and warm up a cream bronzer, like so. Get a lot on there, and to start to like kiss it to my face. I like to have my bronzer go over my nose a little bit. In real life, it's a little intense, but it looks nice on stage. This is probably like twice the amount I would put on if I was just like walking around for the day. For stage, I like to have a small bit of contour sometimes as well, but very subtle, like nothing that you'd really be able to notice too much. I normally put it on before bronzer. The bronzer that I put on today is so like cool toned that I thought that I could just kind of put the bronzer on first and then go in and see where I want the contour. I'm using the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Butter Biscuit and the Fenty Matchstick in Amber, which I use for contouring. And, you know, a little bit on the nose, why not? I used to contour a lot more, but the older I get, the more I realize that it just sometimes just really does not translate in photos or in certain videos. So I've been like laying off it a lot. I just like to have a very subtle amount here, and then I like to do like the excess kind of always going upward, always trying to like elongate my eye, lift it, and pinch in my nose a little bit. But like I'm not going hardcore here, because I just find that I can't see that from far away anyway. So it's like when I'm in a really big hurry and I'm doing my own makeup and I don't have a lot of time, I'm like, what's the point? For this last tour, like I said, I was just going like neutral glitters. So it was just so much easier because I didn't have to like spend an hour blending out my eyeshadow. Because guys, remember, it's one thing doing your makeup at home and then going to a show. It's completely different having to cart all this stuff in every day and then cart it all back out to your like little bunk in your bus or something, or like a cubby in your van. Mem ask, skincare must. Sunscreen forever. Sunscreen forever. Matthew Hawthorne said, "Hi, Court. My mom's really enjoying the Rule of Grinds coffee. She says it's the best coffee she's ever had. She, not a metal fan, wants to know why you scream in your songs. She says you have a beautiful voice and doesn't think the screaming is necessary." Well, Matthew, I will tell you what, and this goes for all of you, that if you perform this kind of music, this is something that I've been saying to people who ask me this and don't realize that it's like pretty eye-rolly and offensive, because it's implying that what I'm doing is bad, so why don't I do only the good way of doing it? And so, it's like, what you need to say back to people that say that, always say the same thing. It works in like every single situation. So when someone's like, "Oh, I don't really like get that screaming music," or like, "I don't really get why you would like to listen to it or play it or whatever," just always, no matter what, look them in the eye and just be like, "Well, the thing is, if someone like you liked it, I wouldn't want to do it." Because it's like kind of your good comeback that you can say. So keep that one in your back pocket. Oh, and as far as answering Matthew's mom, because I'm really fucking good at it and it makes me happy and I love it. What do you want me to say? But anyway, you guys remember that, because obviously music is subjective, and screaming, we're all used to it because we all listen to this kind of music, but it is really, really fucking weird. Like, if you just show a normal person screaming, they will like laugh at it. Like, it makes them like uncomfortable. It makes them cringe. Don't feel offended because they don't like the kind of music you like. But if you want to get a zinger in, give them that as a zinger. Just be like, "Yeah, well, if you liked it, then I wouldn't want to make this kind of music." Like, if your type liked it, Ebony asked, she said, "When I'm on stage, my makeup literally just melts from the heat. Do you have any tips for keeping it locked down?" Yeah, it's just like thin layers so that it can grip to your skin, and good, proper foundation. And I don't mean foundation as in like your makeup foundation. I mean like the skincare portion and the priming portion. I'm gonna use a cream blush as well, because I wasn't doing like a big blush look on stage. I'm using the Fenty cream blush. This one is Rosé Latte. I just like this one, and it just kind of works with all makeup looks, so I can put this on my face while I'm still figuring out exactly what colors I want to do for my lipstick and my eye makeup, and it's okay if one's a little too warm or one's a little too cool. This one's just like very browny. In normal life, I would do like a cream highlight. I love this Pearl one matchstick from Fenty Beauty. But I'm not gonna do that today. When I'm on stage, I'm already gonna get so sweaty. I prefer powder highlight. So let's reinforce the bronzer a little. I like to just use like a more loose brush, kind of just pat it in here. This is the broken bronzer. I forgot that I broke this. Anyway, that's what it looks like. This is the butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. It just looks good on everybody, and it blends nicely, and it kind of has like a nice sheen to it. I just, in general, like for something being easy to do quickly, I really don't like using like a really matte bronzer. I just find it harder to blend out. So I'm kind of going for like, this whole thing's about like speed right now. This is where I want to make sure that my neck and my face look like they belong to the same person and not photoshopped on. I like to put a little bit of bronzer in my jaw too, so it's not like a super severe difference. Another thing is I like to kind of, this is weird for stage, but now that my powder's kind of like sat on my chin a little bit, it kind of binds together and forms a goop, which I then put this concealer over, and it will just kind of reinforce the coverage on my scars, because they really, really show up in some videos and photos. Like, I don't see them in real life at all, and then when someone takes a photo of me, they'll then like up the contrast and the saturation and the sharpness and stuff, and then all these little spots that I have on my face, like, they turn that up, and then they don't go, she probably wouldn't like that, she'd probably like those to be gone. They just do it and give it and put it out on the internet for all to see, and I'm like, ugh, ay caramba. But there's nothing wrong with having spots. We all have spots on our face. You probably can't tell on camera, but that's just kind of like reinforced things and made it a little bit more coverage. And then we gotta go back in, guys. Now that we've put our cream product on, I'm now going to start dusting that translucent powder all over my face, and that's what's gonna lock this shit in. Sorry, I keep hitting this. It's just like I don't have like a normal room mic. I have a vocal mic, so it's very directional. I have to have it towards me like that. I'm gonna put even more powder on after this, but this is just really nice thin powder. You layer, and you can, if you go back to the beginning of the video and you go back to me now, I'm still shiny, but I'm less shiny. It looks more fake, you know what I mean? It looks less like my skin and my pores. So now let's go in with my favorite highlighter for extreme stuff, but then it also looks pretty good in normal life as well, is the Diamond Bomb highlighter from Fenty Beauty. This one's in How Many Carats. And then I have, this is like the coolest way to put it on. It's specifically a highlighter brush from Fenty Beauty. It's awesome. But yeah, this is my favorite highlighter ever. It's like, calling it a powder is wrong. It's not powder. It's like this weird cream to powder hybrid. Kind of gives like the glass look, and then this brush is perfect for, oh, look at that. For like, it just glides over your cheekbones. So nice. Man, I love this highlighter. I'll die for this highlighter. I'll never use another. I like to, I'm still one of those people. I like to give myself the root off, like a little bit of shine on the bottom of my nose. I put a little bit on the bridge too, and I like to kind of swipe a little bit over my brow bone because that's where I'm naturally gonna get sweaty anyway. Well, I better check to see if my food's on the way. Muhammad is 7 minutes away. So yeah, Ebony, just products that aren't gonna break down from the oil on your face. And if you have oily skin, you need to reinforce it even more and put on even more oil powder. And I would even put on powder like before you put any makeup on. Someone that has really oily skin that I really like is a makeup artist named Jackie Aina, and she has this whole system that she does before she puts on her makeup. Like, she puts on powder like this on her bare skin and puts her makeup over it, and it just is so beautiful if you have a lot of oil in your skin. I've kind of someone that's gone from having dry skin to just like normal skin, so I don't have too much oil for a performance, but at the end of the day I'm pretty slick with oil. But like, just for before I go on stage, it's fine. Pork Salad asks my favorite public transportation memory. When a guy took out a straight razor on the bus and just started with a dry razor just like shaving his stubble. and just staring at me. It was so gross. Andrew Bach asked, you once collaborated with a group called Crazy 88 with a bunch of other notable vocalists. What was that like? You know, it's not as fun and glamorous as you think. They just send you a Google document or a Dropbox, and they just say, sing this part over this, and then you just do it and you send it in. That's it. And you don't hear anyone else's stuff pretty much like till the song comes out. So it's not really exciting. You just send out your stuff and you hope that it sounds really good. But yeah, those guys are great. And I'm a very good buddies with Lauren Babick, who's the singer for that band, and I just think she's amazing. So it was really sweet of them to allow me to be on there with all those other cool vocalists. What part of the Mara Effect trilogy is my favorite? Part 1, 2, or 3? Definitely part 3. Okay, so now my face, some of you probably don't think that my face even looks very different than it did. I promise you, it looks different. It just looks like stage motherfucking ready. I just haven't been really enjoying how it's turning out in photos, like cream contour, like just looking a little muddy. So I've more so been like going in and doing this. Let me show you with a sponge. This is the Fenty Beauty sponge. It's really good. This is just a dry sponge, but just because I don't want to contour really, I've been doing this, or I've been going in, I guess people call it a non-tour. Can you see that? See that? And I let this sit on here, and it kind of just makes its own little brighter line under there, which makes the contour, like my jaw, just be a little bit more defined when I take this off. When I sweep it off, it's kind of like, you know, like how you do baking under your eyes. I just kind of do this rather than do a contour. I do this, and so that way I have my own. I know.
Thai food.
I know, but I can't eat right now.
Do you want me to get ready?
No, just leave it in there for me. It's okay. Thai food. Same thing, I'll do this on my nose, like down the middle. And yeah, I know I put a highlight there, but the reason I kind of overdo it with the highlight is because then I'm going to put all this stuff on. I'm now basically like, I don't like to do like full-blown baking, but I just know there's some parts that depending on how long my performance is, it's going to start breaking down and creasing, and I don't like it. So I just kind of let this sit on here to kind of make my own reverse contour. Just makes it a slightly more defined, but still pretty natural. I'm just not really, when I jump off stage, I just want to be able to like put a towel on my face and kind of dry off a little, and then be ready to go out to the merch table or something and look good. I don't like to be like completely caked up, so then I look like a weird dry lady in pictures. What are my favorite eyeshadow palettes? The colors I use is always so gorgeous. That was asked by Alice Owen, and you are an angel. I really like, as far as just like neutrals, I just really like this Blood Sugar palette by Jeffree Star. It just has a lot of really easy ones for me. But for taking on tour, I really like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. And they actually just came out with a small mini one, which would probably have just the shadows that I actually need. Really simple, really easy to blend. That's what I'm looking for on tour. Just quick, easy to blend stuff. Amanda asked what my skincare routine is. You saw the first part of it. The only difference is I do use some masks and stuff every once in a while just to help with any problems I have. Generally, that's going to be moisture, fading scars, or acne. And then to take off my makeup, I use the Pharmacy like melting cleansing balm. I then use the soy cleanser from Fresh to get my makeup off, and to, you know, I really massage it in and break it down. And then I use my prescription retinol, and then usually a thicker lotion, but like I said, right now I'm using this thinner one. Okay, let me keep going for a sec because I'm running behind, guys, and I want to eat that fucking Thai food. Okay, so normally I would do my eyebrows last, but because I haven't shaved off my eyebrows in a bit, I'm gonna do them first so I can kind of get like more of a vibe of what the shape of my face is gonna be, and then I will go back to doing eyes. But I know this is taking forever, but it's because I'm talking a lot. Like, I'm almost done. Well, famous last words. This is my favorite eyebrow product right now. It's the MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint in the color Stud. It has this like little smudger pen on one end and then this like felt tip on the other, and it's perfect for drawing hair-like strokes. I'm really thinking of getting my brows laminated because I just really like that look a lot. I don't know if I'm gonna like the upkeep of it, but just like my eyebrows are so thick and they get so long. I just really like the more like defined, see-through, kind of fluffy look. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this. This is in black, the boy brow, which seems aggressive for my eyebrow color, but it's perfect. So I like to go through with this, but I like to use it to flatten the hairs down a little bit more. I just really like the look of the laminated brow. I just think it is very fresh, so I might do that. But until then, we're just gonna do my more so natural but more traditional brow. I'll do what I can on camera, but I might have to just kind of do a lot of this off camera. But I basically, rather than having my brow start to go down here, I just keep carrying it along with hairs. So I basically use that to be my guide. Oh, I forgot how good that looks. I love it. Just see like they're more, now it's gonna be like more turned up rather than just going down. See, it's just like pretty subtle. And then, brows are, as they always say, they're sisters, not twins. So see, this one, the arch is in a slightly different place, but I don't want to like pluck any of these hairs to make the arch appear to be starting here. So I just like to, try to give the illusion that it's just going more straight out. Eventually, like, if I wasn't just hanging out at my house. Oh, look what I just did. I've never done that before. Of course I do that on camera. I'm such a dork. But like normally, see, I would pluck all this like from here, so that way it looked more like my eyebrow. But I don't want to do that right now. It's too much commitment. So like, like normal, this one's literally perfect. This one is the devil, but that's just how it is. On stage, it looks fine. I'm just gonna finish the rest of this. You won't be able to see it very well, but I just like to continue this straight line through here as well, by making fake hairs. I like the look of that versus, you see that? I like the look of that versus like penciling it in. I just feel like it looks more normal and like dynamic. And the way I kind of tie all that in is then I do that on this side too. This one's too bushy, but I'm a little rusty. I'm just gonna go like that. I'm a little bit rusty and I fucking cute. I just wish I could get rid of like that so that I didn't have those hairs there, so that these could be more straight. But like I said, I just didn't want to like fully rip these bad boys off and then be like, fuck. That side looks pretty cool. This side it's just how it's gonna be for now. Brittany asked, she said, can't wait for the video. And then, do you use wigs for different looks in music videos? If so, have any favorites? No, I don't have any favorites because they're all really cheap and shitty. I love wigs, and I love beautiful wigs, and I love the challenge of making shitty wigs nice. And it takes a lot of work, and installing them, I find that so fun. And I love watching videos of people doing it, but like, I don't have a favorite of the wigs I currently own. They're all like the cheapest wigs that I could possibly get on Amazon. Amy asked, what are the cringiest lyrics that I've ever written? Oh my god. I don't know what my favorite lyrics I've ever written are, which is the second part of your question, but the first part is in the song It's a Trap. In that song, I literally have a part where I say, I don't know what any of this means. It could be real, or it could be fake. That's so funny. It's such a bad lyric. I still laugh about it. Sorry, my eyebrows are really fucking bugging me now. It's like, I was trying to be like all chill to you guys because I'm not really on stage. It's fine if it's not perfect, but like this eyebrow is just really not into it. I'm very upset about it. Too much arch. There. Oh, still too much arch. I need to pluck. Normally, like, don't pluck above your eyebrows. Always like pluck below. But I have such hairy eyebrows. I like. See, that looks a bit better. But I actually pluck all this too because I have so much hair. You'll see. Instead of doing like crazy glitter primer and all that shit, I use these. These are the Dazzle Shadow Liquids from MAC. This one is called Not Afraid to Sparkle. And that way it's like, if you just want to have on this stuff, it looks good. But it's also a glitter primer. So it's like a glitter primer that also looks pretty. So when I'm on tour, I don't have a ton of room for a bunch of different fancy glitter primers and shit. Well, I just put this on my eyelid, and it looks pretty on its own as well, which is so cute. But now that I have my eyebrows up higher, I'd like to build a little bit more of a crease in my eye. I'm just gonna go in with like a 217 brush in just like whatever your perfect crease shade is. For me, it's this one, Cake Mix. I really like how that is. Sometimes I use a more like pinky one, but I feel like this just always suits my mood for whatever glitter I end up doing. Normally I do this first. I was just gonna go without a crease, like transition shade, so I didn't bother. But on second thought, I just feel like it will continue to elongate my eye to have a little bit of a crease shade. See, it's like pretty subtle, but it just gives more, when you have all the glitter on, it just gives more definition. It's also good if you're gonna go on tour to practice doing your makeup in different lighting, because you would be very surprised how little light you're gonna have in all the places that you do your makeup. Like, I have one of those I have like an LED light thing that I use, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's just not practical to transport these super crazy lights everywhere, and you're gonna have to be doing your makeup in pretty dark places because, when you're starting out, you're mainly doing your makeup, you're doing your shows in like a club. Clubs don't have a bunch of like windows and stuff. It's, you go there when it's dark. It's supposed to be dark. Now I have like a little bit more definition there. I'm going to start to dust off this powder, but it kind of leaves, as you can see, a little bit of like a lighter contour. I like to put on a teeny little bit of powder when I'm about to do glitter, and like leave it there. I'm not baking, but I like to have a little bit here because I think I'm gonna use loose glitter, and it does spill. And I'm a little bit rusty, motherfucking. But yeah, I'm down with the glitter. I'm digging it. I'm gonna do another layer because I talked a lot and I forgot and I let it dry. And again, like, I wish I could show you more close up, but I don't have like a fancy lens and stuff. So you're just gonna, this is about as close as you are going to get. I like to keep all my loose glitters together. One thing that you can do that's I love doing because it takes so long to get through glitter is I'll go in, before I buy one, I'll go into a MAC and I'll ask for samples of glitter because this will last you for so long. So like I'll go in and say, hey, can I try this one and this one before buying one? So that way I can see if I like it. But you know, I always do like drop them on the ground or like spill and yada yada yada. This is a really nice, I don't know which one it is, but it's just like, I think it's just bronze, nice loose glitter from MAC. I'm back. So here's what happened. The camera died, and then I was like, hey, this is obviously Satan telling me to eat my Thai food. So I went and did that, and then I had a bunch of technical difficulties, and then I freaked out, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to take a break, and it's just going to show you how amazingly this makeup stays on my face. I'm going to go in again now that I've had a couple hours. It's been like 2 hours. And I got really spicy food, so this shit is fucking popping. So I'm just gonna go in and put another layer of powder on. And now I'm gonna keep going on the eyes. I want like a little bit more bronzy depth in this. And again, some of this has been kind of like trial and error because I just wanted to try out some new things. So let me see if this is going to be dark enough. On stage, I was really feeling kind of like a little bit more bronzy look with what I was wearing. But it's just like very, like relatively very natural. For that, I just used this really nice, I think they're called Fairy Balm. Yeah, Fairy Balms. This one's called Coppa Chill from Fenty. It's very, I'll show you. It's very pretty bronze pigment that you can very beautifully put on your face. I'm gonna put a little bit more of the glitter primer on. Normally I'd use this gold one. I'll do that actually this time. Like I was also using this one's called Flash and Dash, the Dazzle Shadows. Because it goes with the color I chose a little bit more, but I'll show you what I do. I just like sprinkle this on like this. And then one thing that Ashley taught me with the glitter is that sometimes just if, you know, especially if it's like from far away, you know, more can be less because what you're looking for is like the bit of extra sparkle that glitter gives versus just like sparkly frosty eyeshadow. So you're pretty much, all you really need to do is just tap a very thin layer of glitter on. You don't really need it to be like this super crazy amount. It's still gonna give all that dimension that you're looking for with the glitter. And again, like this is taking me a while, but it's because I'm talking to you. All this shit only takes me like 30 minutes in normal life, and that's with me going like very slowly. Ryan LeBlanc asked 2 questions that go hand in hand. What was your first concert ever? And what was your first concert that you performed at? Let me think about that. The first like real concert that I ever went to that wasn't just like, you know, like a church function or something, was, I think the band, weirdly, the band Fuel performed at the university where my dad was a basketball coach, and so we went, because, like, what else was there to do? And I think I was in 7th grade, or, I don't know, 6th or 7th grade, and it was Fuel and Breaking Benjamin at this like pretty small arena. I'd say it was like probably a 2,000. No, probably even less. Maybe 2,000 person arena. And I thought it was cool. But the guy from Tool, he was wearing like no shirt and really skin tight leather pants. It was like very not 2002, you know, like it was weird. And then he took a drumstick and you got to keep in mind I was a little kid. And he like took the drumstick and then just like jammed it down his ass crack and wiggled it around in there and then threw it into the crowd. And I think probably some kids in the crowd were like, that was fucking sick. But not me. I was like an 11 or 12-year-old girl, so I was like, ew. It was just not the energy that a 12-year-old girl was really looking for at the time, I think. So that's hilarious. And my first concert that wasn't like a church thing or like a school thing that I did was kind of like a battle of the band style thing in 2007. My band Unicron, our first concert, and it was this thing where it's like, you know, it was called like Supernova, and it was like this really sketchy thing where it was like you pay to play, and then they vote. You know, you have to sell a certain amount of tickets, and then they vote on like who wins. And I wore sunglasses, which is so embarrassing. I was way too old to do that. When I'm doing like a more soft look, I don't go for like a black liquid eyeliner. I go for just a really nice dark brown. This is like probably one of the nicest pencils I've ever had. It's a new brand. It's Makeup by Mario. The guy that became famous for doing Kim Kardashian's makeup. He's done a lot of collabs with different companies like Anastasia Beverly Hills and stuff. Really good shit. But he recently finally at Sephora came out with his own makeup line. And this pencil's really cool because you can really manipulate it for a long time and then it sets and then it stays pretty well. I would only wear this for like a 30-minute indoor show though. It just, from far away in photos, it just makes it look like I'm wearing a little bit more makeup, you know? But it's not, it's just like so fucking easy. And then if it doesn't look good, you can just like blend it out like that. So I love this shit. So now what I like to do is I like to get my eyelashes ready. Today I am going to put on like these, just like very, sorry, excuse how dirty and gross this is, but like these very voluminous ones. By the way, I always save the parts of my lashes that I cut off because then I'll like sometimes glue them on individually because I'm crazy and gross. See what I mean though about my eyes? Like it's just very, it's just something that I can go on autopilot and recreate every single night. When I just didn't really have a theme in mind. But I take the makeup portion of this very seriously. So like on this tour, I just wanted to look really nice. I wanted to look really pretty, but I wanted to look young and fresh and I didn't want the makeup to be the first thing you saw about me or the only thing you remembered about me. So I did a very like understated classic makeup look like this. Because otherwise I get really lost in it. And guys, there was some times where like I would be in the middle of doing one of my eyes and then I'd realize that I had to be on stage in like 5 minutes. And then I'd have to like just say fuck it, throw a bunch of shit on my face and run out. It like I just get so lost in the mirror and just I'll like put a podcast on or something and just go fucking crazy. Lonnie asked, who are some of your favorite meta vocalists and why do they stand out to you? Oh, well, that's a great question. I really like I really like Sam Carter from Architects. I think he is a great singer and a great screamer. I really like Dan Tompkins from Tesseract. I think he has a great screamy and great singy. I would say those two are the ones I like a lot. I like the guys' voices in the band Loathe. I feel like Deftones, you can count Deftones in there. I love Chino's voice. I don't listen to a ton of metal though, you guys. I listen to it, but I don't repeatedly go back and listen over and over to a ton of metal bands. Another thing is when I'm on tour, I'll take like, just in case I have something really cool to do, or like a special impromptu photo shoot or something, like I'll take my nice eyelashes, my more expensive, higher quality ones. But generally, like if I'm doing a very simple look, I'll just bring like a couple packs of Ardell Wispies, just like a very generic lash, because it's just kind of hard to keep track of all these things while you're on tour. And if I lost one of these lashes, I'd be really sad because they're expensive and they last for a long time. But if I lose an Ardell Wispy, like who cares? So the way that I put my lashes on, it always just depends on how long my nails are. I like to both use my fingers and then glue them down with this. And that's one thing, as someone who's such a makeup lover, it's always been very shocking to me how bad I am at doing my eyelashes sometimes. It's crazy. One other thing I was gonna say is, if you have a hooded eye, don't worry about your you don't need to worry about your eyeliner like going down and out. You want to think of it more like, see how this is more like a wing? You're going to think of yours more as like a bat wing, because then when you have your eyes open, you can see your wing still. I have a kind of like, I have a pretty defined eye crease. They're not hooded. You can still see my eyelids like this, but that you don't see a ton of eyelids. So I always am very mindful of that. Okay, so I let my lash glue dry for fairly long time, and then I like to be able to look under like this. So like, see how I have my mirror? I have a mirror in front of me too, but for this I like to see what's going on at this angle. I find it a lot easier to make sure I have the lash on right. You also don't need to have the lash too close to your inner corner, because you can really fucking poke yourself and it hurts. So I like to kind of I'm gonna put it a little closer. See, before I commit, I like to just line everything up and make sure that everything's looking cute, and then I go in. And like, fake lashes are a must for me when I'm all done up. I just feel like it's the icing on the cake. So yeah, I like to do this very timidly at first until I line everything up where I want, and then I just tap it down a little bit with my nails. If you don't have long nails, then you can kind of go in there and just grab it like this. But my nails are kind of a weird length right now, so I wait and do that till they're a little bit more dry, and then I start to smush them together. And then I just don't like to do all that work and then mess everything up. I like to go in with one of these tools and really fuse everything together, because when I'm singing, I squint a lot, I close my eyes a lot. And it's like you don't want one of your eyelashes lifting up when you're on stage. It sucks when like someone takes an awesome picture of you and then it's ruined because your eyelashes are all gross and shot looking. Yeah, I like to let the glue dry for a little bit. I just feel like it also, when you're taking them off, everything comes off in a much more neat fashion. So we all have like a little pocket on our eye, like right where like a shelf, like where the your eyelash meets your eyelid. And that's a great place to put these little bad boys. And you still want to like flip them up a little bit so that your eye is open. But I personally, I know this is kind of weird, but I like to have my eyelashes be facing straight out. And then once everything dries, then I lift them up a little bit when the glue's dry. It's weird. But you can see right now, like I don't, obviously I normally would put on a little bit of mascara, curl my eyelashes, and then do this. But I just didn't feel like it today because I just was like, you know what? This video is already way too long. So we're going to skip that step. But joke's on me, this video is still extremely long. But see what a big difference that makes in my eye? Like this one just looks so much more put together than this one does. Okay? Isn't it such a shame that I'm just gonna go wipe all this off? It's such a bummer. Last time I was trying to be very economical and only bring what I needed and bring a very small thing because I only had so much, weight I could have in my suitcase. I think that's a really big, that's an annoying misconception that people have when they're talking about going on tour. They're like, I mean, how much clothing do you need? And I'm like, it's not the clothes that are making it so that my bag's overweight. It's that I have to get ready, like to go to fucking prom every night. And all that stuff is heavy, like all of this stuff, the weight adds up. It's not my clothes. So you know what though? Now, like next year, I'm bringing one bag that's just full of my clothing, and then one bag that's just all my toiletries. Somebody come get her. She's dancing like a stripper. Okay. So yeah, I really like this extended play mascara for my bottom lashes. It's also waterproof. My eyelashes are so long and straight that I even just use this on my top lashes because nothing makes them curl, like only an eyelash curler. I was thinking of trying out getting an eyelash perm. And then the last question is from Poison and Kerosene. I want to know how the appointment went with the speech therapist or whoever you were seeing that you mentioned on the live stream. Did you learn anything from that? And are you doing better? I am. And I just wanted to wait. I wanted to wait until I had a couple more sessions with her to talk to you guys about it because I didn't want to tell you to do something incorrectly. And actually what I'm doing right now is part of speech therapy. Because I normally, if you scroll back through this video I've made you, I talk really fast and it's like I interrupt myself. You know what I mean? I'll have a thought in my head and then I'll interrupt it and then I'll keep going and then I'll interrupt it. And I have all these run-on sentences and I run out of breath. So my speech therapist is trying to get me a couple times a day to speak very calmly and very precisely and try to sound out every vowel and every consonant, and it's better and more protective for my voice. So I have so much to tell you guys about that, but I'm just gonna wait and make an actual dedicated video to it. But the short answer is yes, it's really helping me. And I've learned so much stuff, and I'm going to show you guys some of it in another video. So now for lips. I can't help but kind of smudge my lipstick and stuff. So just because I don't want to look like shit in all my pictures, I mainly like to do a very neutral lip, like very boring. So this isn't going to be exciting for you, but I'll show you what I do. So I use a pencil, like this one is Subculture from MAC. Good pencil. I always feel like it's really dry and you gotta like really get it going first for it to do anything. For me with my lips, it's just about getting them to look as juicy and symmetrical as possible because I have a lot of symmetry issues with my lips. Like one side is so much bigger than the other. And so I like to overline the side that's smaller, so my smile looks less crooked. And that way it matches the bigger side. I'm basically making the Vaseline that I had all over my mouth work for me by like kind of spreading out my lip. But this section here is where I feel like your lip looks the most, like it needs the most fullness to look pouty. So I don't like aggressively overline. I just kind of color in the section, you know, where your lip has like a little shadow. Bill was calling Michael, and Michael's phone is still hooked up to this computer, and it just made it so Bill calling was blaring in my headphones. Why are you calling my man? See, they just look, they're not overlined, but they just have a little bit more definition, which just kind of gives an illusion of being plump. And sometimes I like to put a tiny amount of, a teeny bit of highlight right here. I just like how it looks when the light hits it. And then let's see, what was I doing when I was on tour? I was mainly just doing like really boring shades like this. This one is Modesty by MAC. It's like a cream sheen. They're really, really sheer. So probably just I think this is like what I wore every night. Just like very minimal. So this is it. Last thing I do is I like to, depending on how dry it is, I'll do a couple different setting sprays. I know, very extra. But I'll do this setting spray. Just the really basic one. So far, I've just been really, just for years, I haven't wanted to like try out and invest in another like $50 to $60 setting spray. I just really like the Urban Decay All Nighter one, and I'm just for stage, and I'm just gonna keep using it until I find something else that's better. If you have something that you think is better for melting your makeup and keeping everything on, doesn't make you too matte or too dewy, let me know. Like I said, my goal here isn't to do like a crazy masterpiece work of art. I love that, but no one can see it on stage, and so it's a huge waste of time. I have a lot of other duties that I have to do while I'm on tour. So the longer I'm sitting there doing my makeup, the longer my hands and can't type stuff out. You know what I mean? So it's like time is money. Like I have a billion other things that I have to do during the day, so I can't spend the whole day doing my hair and makeup because I don't have time. These little fingers need to be typing like this. All right, so I think I answered everyone's questions. The setting spray just really like gets everything a little bit more shiny for the stage, and then I'm not joking, I then go in after the setting spray while it's still a little bit damp, and I stick it on all the powder on all these parts of my face that get really shiny, but in a bad way in photos. So now we will finish this video by showing you some close-ups. Again, this is something that really would only take you about 20 minutes. I just did this really slowly because I was talking. And then you just always look put together on stage. So let's do some close-ups now. Let me get my little microphone. We'll do close-ups. So here's a close-up of my face. So like, you know, if you look close, like I have a little dry patch here that some of the bronzer stuck to. The only other thing I might do is I I might put a little something on my inner corner, like probably this highlighter again. And that's probably about it. You know, it's just like a really simple thing. But let me show it to you as well with the lights off, so that you can see like how maybe not perfect it really looks in real life. So see, if I take that light off, here's how it would look in like normal light, right? It's just like a little bit less blown out and perfect looking. You can kind of see some texture. And then let's turn off the ring light. I think this is really important. I have watched so many makeup videos in my life, and if they had turned off these lights ever, and show me what they just looked like in normal fluorescent lighting, it would probably make me feel so much better about myself. So here I am in like normal lighting with shadows and stuff. And you know, as you can see, like things still look great, but there's just like a teeny bit more texture and stuff around my face and my lips. And see, now you can see like I have more, you can see all the texture on my cheeks and stuff like that, and you know, my pores and my dark spots and stuff. But you know, under stage lights, it looks really good and it photographs really well. And then when you hop off stage, you look good. So the only thing I think I'm gonna change a little bit is next year, when I'm doing a lot of outdoor festivals, I will probably change my makeup a tiny bit for festivals because I'm gonna be an opening band a lot, so I'm gonna be playing during the day a ton, during the sunlight hours, and so you know, I just want to be able to look good in photographs there, so I got to do some research on how to really execute that. But then for club shows, like this is really the most makeup I really need on my face. You know, like it looks pretty natural, and it doesn't look too shiny and it doesn't look too matte. And I've had this on my face, like I said, other than the eye makeup, for like 3 hours. So, you know, it's not breaking down. So like in my normal daily life, I would hate to have my face feel so powdery, but I feel like I can still feel my skin through it. Like I feel powder, but it looks good. In my normal life, I would not like to have so much powder, but it's important to me to be able to like stick my hand on my face and slide it down, and I'm still okay. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, bearing with me as I try to figure out how I'm supposed to talk and do makeup at the same time. And I hope you have an awesome day. Please leave some comments below with what you'd like to see next, and we'll do another tutorial and chit chat. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.